6, and welcome to your leaving ceremony. So we come together today to celebrate the end of a journey, not just the end, but the start of a new chapter too. And Mrs. Dixon will talk more about this later, but before we look forward, I want to reflect on what has been a hugely successful time at French for you all. Some of you have been with us from the very beginning, walking in through those reception doors on day one, not knowing where to go or what to do, with this whole journey ahead of you. You probably remember who your first teacher was, and even some of the things you did. For others amongst you, this was a new school. You may have joined the journey along the way as a new person to French. And you've all, every single one of you that's joined us along the way, settled in brilliantly. Personally, I've only known you all as year 5 or year 6. And if I'm honest, due to how this past 18 months has gone, I've probably saw more of you in year 5 than in year 6, but I've been extremely proud this year in particular to see how far you've come. I can't believe, looking at your work and your achievements, how well you've done considering the amount of time we've had to spend outside of school. And that brings me on to the pandemic. It's been unfortunate that we've missed so much time, and it's sad for us too, because you're such a fantastic bunch of young people. And it's a shame that some of our time with you has been cut short, as you are such a great year 6. However, I want to take this opportunity to focus on the positives that this situation has brought. You're the only generation, probably in our lifetime, that's finished your last 2 years of primary school in the midst of a global pandemic, with lockdowns and everything else that's brought. You've experienced 2 stints of remote learning, and some of you more than that. When you look back at this in years to come, I guarantee you'll be sitting there saying to your kids or your grandkids, "When I was little, we had to do our lessons over the internet, and we missed 2 whole terms of school, and I turned out okay." And it really will be something to look back on as a time of great achievement in the face of adversity. Regarding the last 2 years and before that, this is a time to reflect. I'm sure you'll be thinking a lot over the next few days about what your fondest memories are, and this could be a lesson where you've achieved something, large or small. Maybe it was when you got the head teacher award. Maybe it was when you got your pen licence. Maybe your best memories are of a sporting event you took part in, a trip to the Space Centre, for example, or residential. However, I also want you all to think about those little things we take for granted. Many of you have learned to read while at French, or learned to get better at your mental maths, for example. But maybe in your primary years, whether at school or not, you've learned to ride a bike, learn to swim, make lasting friendships, or laugh until your belly bursts. And this last one is probably related to some of the great friendships you've made while here. For some of you, these will continue into secondary school. And for some of you, you might be planning to keep in touch despite going in different directions. But whatever the future holds, hold on to those memories and cherish them, as when you get to my age, you'll realise this truly is one of the best times of your life, and we'll really, really miss you, year 6. So we're going to go through some awards this morning, and before I pass on to Mrs. Green for the bulk of the awards this morning, I have got some very, very special certificates to give out. And these certificates are attendance awards, but not just 100% attendance for this year. These are people who've actually not missed a single day of school. Is this since they've been here at this school? That is amazing.
First one is 2 or 3 years.
So this person has done 2 years of not missing a single day at school. Obviously, we know that we've had forced days with everything that's happened, but when they should be at school, they've been here every single day. That makes a huge difference. What a huge achievement. So the first person for 2 years worth of 100% attendance is Lydia. Well done, Lydia. We should point out we have all gelled our hands before we shake hands today. And this person has done 3 whole years of not missing a single day at school. Again, a very special achievement. And this is Jessica. And finally, this person has done not 1, not 2, but 6 whole years without missing a single day. And this is Blossom. Over to you, Mrs. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Okay, 6G, I've talked a lot about my speech and how I'm really going to try not to cry today. So, wish me luck. Wow, 6G, what a year it has been. The last year has indeed been a test for us all, would you agree? For many, a year of sadness, disappointment, and in some cases boredom and even frustration. And I'm sure we've all felt one of those emotions at some point or to some degree. However, to survive these trying times, we have had to focus on the good bits. Would you agree? The positives and the valuable lessons that we have all hopefully learnt. The goods. The constant banter 6G have shared. Samson's, shall I say, contributions to the class. Hayden's infectious laugh and Katie's booming "good morning" every morning. The positives. The trip to the National Space Centre, seeing each other in class Zoom sessions, the Year 6 play production, and we can't forget lip syncing to All I Want for Christmas. And the valuable lessons. To appreciate what we have. To never take anything or anyone for granted ever again. To really consider our hopes and dreams. And to think about what people we really want to be. Thinking about our class text wonder and the precept, if you have a choice between being right or kind, choose kind. Let's try to live our lives that way. As you grow up, remember your deeds are your monuments. A person's success isn't necessarily measured by the amount of wealth they have, or by the car they drive, or by the number of Facebook friends or Instagram followers, but by what we do with the time we have and whose lives we truly touch and change for the better. In years to come, when you look back at your final year at French, you will remember your own personal hardships, but you must also remember how brave you were and how you overcame them. And you've all done that, 6G. How you can actually overcome anything. It has been an absolute pleasure teaching you, but also getting to know you all as individuals. So my final words of wisdom that I hope you take with you, 6G, forever. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It is the courage to continue that really counts. 6G, I wish you a future filled with excitement, kindness and happiness. But for now it's time to come and receive your certificate of graduation for completing your primary school years. Okay, are we ready? Okay, first one, to Toby, for consistently setting a good example in class and for being a very convincing actor. Well done, Toby. Amelia, for being an avid reader and regular RED winner. Poppy, for having creative flair with descriptive writing. Jessica, for giving 110%, if that's a thing, with everything that she does. For Ethan, for having a mature head on his shoulders and for being a very supportive friend. For Erin, and I'm sure you'll all agree, for being the perfect choice for head girl. Darcy, for being an incredibly talented artist and gifted writer. Hayden, for having an unshakable determination to do his best. Samson, for being a naturally gifted mathematician and for his inquisitive mind. Layla May, for making good progress this year and for being an extremely conscientious and mature young lady. Ellie, for having a remarkable talent for learning lines and for being incredibly kind. Emmy, for being extremely kind too and helpful to me and for having a positive outlook on life. Akila, for being a good friend to her peers and a very thoughtful young lady. Blossom, for being an avid reader, had to tell her sometimes to put her book down, and a very creative writer. Mia, and this is exactly what I was just talking about in my speech, for showing incredible growth mindset this year. Good girl. Bailey, for being an outstanding role model to her peers, incredibly hardworking, kind and helpful to me. Lexi, for her charismatic personality that brightens everyone's day and for being a natural born performer. Megan, for her kind and gentle nature and love of anything art related. Oliver, for his arithmetic progress this year. It's been fantastic, hasn't it, Oliver? Well done. Logan, for his have-a-go attitude and his Lord Asquith speech. Lachlan, for great progress in maths and writing and for his sporting ability. Lydia, for her sunny disposition and being a natural born performer. Ella, for making good progress across the board this year. Well done. And last but not least, Peter, for his natural problem-solving ability in maths. Well done, Peter. Okay, 6G, so that's it from me, and I'm now going to pass you to Mrs. Dixon for your final farewells.
Okay, hello 6G. I've got to be honest, I think I'm a little bit in shock that we're even here today. It is absolutely incredible to believe that we are already at the point where we are ready to say goodbye to you all. I genuinely remember the first day many of you walked through into nursery, some of you even into tots, and even the rest of you that may have joined us slightly later in the school years. Don't feel sad about the fact you're leaving us. I know it feels like a sad day, but actually it's a really special day today. And it does mark the end of one stage in your life, but it also marks the start of a new and very exciting adventure for every single one of you, including your parents. This is a big change for them as well, so I think we probably need to start with them a little bit. I think we need to start by thanking them, first of all, for the support that they have shown you and us as a school during your time here at Franch. Some of you might have been here for 10, 11 years even, and that's a really long time. During that time, they will have read so many emails from myself, Mrs. Hall, Mr. Kenyon, or any of the other teachers. They will have had huge amounts of emails, workshops to attend, homework to do with you, home learning challenges, and of course, in the last 2 years, they will also have had to help you with remote learning. I think we need to thank them for giving us the opportunity to educate you and the chance to care for you. Their choice with bringing you to Franch has changed every one of our lives because we've got to know you, and that's really important. Normally, we'd have your parents or carers with us now, probably members of your wider family as well. And obviously we can't do that today. It's lovely that we can have you with us, which is even progress from this time last year, which is great. But at this point, I would normally ask you all to give your parents and carers a bit of a round of applause to say thank you to them, and thank you from us as staff for allowing you to be with us. So I wonder if we could just do that anyway. So what I want you to do is to find your hands for me, put your certificates to one side, and let's give your parents a round of applause for the hard work and support they've shown the school. Thank you, parents. Okay, so your years at primary school have literally whizzed by in the blink of an eye, and it is now time for you to leave us and move on to a new education family. Some of you may be leaving friends behind, not only in your class friends, but also in some of the staff. It's a long time to be with us, and I know you will have formed some close relationships. Soon you'll be starting a new school, where you may know less people, the routines might be a little bit unfamiliar, but don't be fazed by any of that. Remember our golden rule, and embrace your growth mindset, and I know that you will soon find your way and your new place at your new school. Meeting new friends and teachers will be very exciting, and before long you will have a million stories to tell. Although you may feel sad now, I know you have so much determination and resilience that sadness won't last for long. And before long your secondary school will feel like your new normal, and I know you will embrace the challenges that it will throw your way. Remember, your character and reputation are just as important as your academic successes, and that's why our golden rule is one that you should try to follow for the rest of your life. I'm sure that many of you don't feel like Year 6 has been quite the year that you would have expected when you came into Year 6. I know that bubbles have limited a lot of what we could do, and some of you may feel the opportunities haven't been quite the same, and you might feel a bit sad about that. But just remember how unique the last 2 years have been, and how well you have coped and adapted to everything that has occurred. The last 2 years being so different will mean that your Year 6 will always be in our minds, and therefore so will you. Remember how proud we are of you. I feel incredibly proud to have taught many of you when you were in early years, to have worked as your deputy head, and in the last 2 years to have been your head teacher. It's been an absolute pleasure and honour to have you as part of the school. You are all outstanding, not just because of your academic achievements, but for the progress you have shown towards our core French values of family, respect, aspiration, nurture, creativity, health and enjoyment. These values really will serve you well as you move on to secondary school and the challenges you face there. Okay, I know you are going to continue to be an absolute credit to your teachers, to me and to your families. I honestly cannot wait to hear from you or see you over the next few years, to hear all about your new adventures and the successes that I know you will achieve. I really do hope you have an amazing summer. Good luck starting secondary school. Remember, you really can achieve anything. Know who you are, be yourself, and do not be afraid to fail and try again. So, I think the last thing we need to do is to celebrate you. And I think what we need to do is to give you the loudest round of applause at all. Well done.
My French memories. My French journey began on the last day of reception, where I met Logan R and Vinny W, who helped me settle in and never left me out. I would often cry when my mum dropped me off, but I always enjoyed my day. In Year 1, my first teacher in French was Miss Jackson. Later in the year, I met Edward R, one of my best friends. Back then, I was more of a cheeky child, not really polite. I would get into trouble a lot. I was a mischievous child, always up to something. In Year 2, I had Miss Davis as a teacher, and I began to get better at many things, like maths, although I wasn't reaching my full potential. In Year 3, my first year of a shirt and tie, I had Miss Cole as my teacher. I enjoyed this year, as I loved the topic World War II. This year, I started to get better at football, since I joined the team. In Year 4, I had two loving teachers, Mrs Evans and Mrs Price. My favourite subject was Romans. Every lunch, we would play football with a ball pit ball. It was the best I could find. In Year 5, my teacher was Miss Warren, a kind and caring person. This year was amazing until COVID occurred, so we had to isolate and do work from home. This was dreadful because my PlayStation was right in front of me. Mostly I would play on it while supposed to be doing work. In Year 6, my teacher was Mrs Green, who has made our classroom a fun yet supportive place. We went to the Leicester Space Centre, which was great. I also went to the Haverley Trail, which was amazing. Year 6 isn't all work and play, and no play. Year 6 has been tough, so many changes. And now today, my last day, I feel emotional and excited. France has given me so many great memories, which I'll never forget this place.
My French memories. My French journey began when I joined reception at the age of 4. I met my friends, Frankie and Amelia. 6 years later, we're still the best of friends. I was shy and quite nervous at 4, but then I started to feel at home. In Year 1, although still shy, I came out of my shell a bit. We went to Warwick Castle. It was a really fun trip. I had a lovely teacher who looked after me. After that, in Year 2, we learnt about the Great Fire of London. We got to make cardboard houses and light them on fire. Also, we got to make London landmarks. London still fascinates me today. Once in Year 3, we learnt about the Stone Age. We wrote diary entries of a person in the Stone Age. and I made Stone Age weapons with the things from my garden. It was really fun. In Year 4 we went to Kingswood for a few nights. Some of the things were really scary and I didn't do them, but some of the things were really fun. I remember International Day too. I came as a Russian doll. Later in Year 5 we made things and sold them to raise money for the food bank. My group made reindeer cupcakes. Sadly we went into lockdown and had to work from home. It made me feel sad as I couldn't see my friends and teachers. Finally in Year 6, it wasn't quite the year I expected, but it was still fun. We went on a trip to Leicester Space Station. We were all nervous about the SATs, but in the end we didn't do them. Also, we learnt about Kanzuki's kingdom, and we got to make paper mache 3D islands, which was great fun. All of my teachers in Year 6 have helped me prepare for high school, and Miss Green encouraged me to do this very speech. We talked about our aspirations and the sort of people we wanted to be. I said kind, and this made Miss Green very happy. So now with the last day upon us, I want to wish all my friends the best of luck and say a huge thank you to French for providing me with so many happy memories.
My French memories. My French journey began in nursery. I was shy and kept to myself, often crying when my mum dropped me off, but always thoroughly enjoying the day in the end. The first friends I made were Peter and Oliver. Later on, in reception, my teacher was Miss Jackson, and she was gentle and supportive to all of us. I was more confident by then, and I made friends with Harrison. All I really felt like we did was play. We didn't do much work. After that, in Year 1, with Mr. Preston as my teacher, I was no longer shy at all, but I was especially nervous about full-time education. In Year 2, we did the Enchanted Wood as my favourite topic, and I had Miss Cross as as my teacher, and she was extremely kind to all of us. After Year 1, I wasn't really nervous and enjoyed the whole year. Eventually, I progressed to Year 3, and my teacher was Mr. Dibble, who had an interesting sense of humour. My favourite topic was World War II, and we also learned army language. However, it also horrified me to think so many people had been killed. Once I was in Year 4, Mrs. Smith was my teacher, and she was quite strict, but still a very good teacher. My favourite topic was definitely the Romans. It surprised me how something as small as something that started as a city could take over most of Europe and certain parts of Africa and Asia. When I progressed to Year 5, there was COVID-19, and we were in lockdown for most of the year. It was extremely annoying because I never got to see any of my friends. My favourite topic that year was definitely the Mayans, which was taught to us by Miss Warren. I will remember that year forever, and it certainly taught everybody interesting life lessons. Now in Year 6 we've had some amazing topics: Percy Jackson, War Horse, Alex Rider, Kanzuki's Kingdom and Wonder. Mrs. Green has tried hard to give us the best year possible. Reflecting on the past year, it has been pretty rubbish, but they have brought us many happy memories. The Space Centre and going to Wales, which is one of the best things I've ever done. It really pushed me to my limits. I am happy that French has been my first school and like a second home to me, which helped me on my journey. Although I'm sad to be leaving, I do feel ready. I wish everyone all the best.
My French memories. My French journey began in Year 1, and unlike most, I wasn't afraid of venturing into new surroundings. I was immediately bustled with plenty of new faces, bursting with questions, and despite the dozens of people there was one people that stood out to me. Erin. She greeted me with a warm smile, and 5 years on is still a close friend of mine. Into Year 2, we had the topic The Enchanted Wood, where we made cakes for each character and had a garden party. Even though I wasn't too fond of the dancing, I thoroughly enjoyed it in the end. When I was in Year 3, I remember being scared. This was the first time I had moved from a lower stage to an upper, and I was terrified. I soon stopped being nervous as we got into lessons, especially making an air raid shelter in Minecraft for our World War II topic. In Year 4, I had two of the best teachers in the school, Mrs. Price and Mrs. Evans. They helped me realise my full potential, especially in English. It was then that I realised I had a passion for writing, and I still love it now. When I got into Year 5, I was very excited, since we had Miss Warren. She was wonderful for the first few months, and they were amazing. But after the outbreak of COVID-19 and we were forced into our homes, it was no longer fun. However though, I did enjoy some of our online lessons, especially maths where I got better at fractions. Although I was very sad about not having the year 5 I was expected to have, it was still enjoyable and definitely one of my most memorable. Finally I got here, year 6, my most pleasant year so far. I've made many special memories that will never be forgotten. Our trips to the Space Centre, a ret in Wales, making our year 6 play, learning about all the Greek gods and goddesses. All this time I'd never thought about leaving, and now it occurred to me. In a way, I'm excited for high school, and I believe it will push me to my limits. Mrs. Green has helped me to be more confident in myself and has made sure I put full effort into everything. Thank you, French, for my amazing journey. I will surely never forget it.
Here's to the old friends we got. Cheers to the new friends we made. Now we're off 'cause French brings back all the memories of everything we've been through. Cheers to the ones here today. Bye to the ones that we left on the way 'cause French brings back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when French was every day. When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feels like December because I'm going on my way. Because I'm moving on to high school and I'll think of you every day. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody changes someday. Hey, but everything will be alright. Go and hug your class and say, hey, here's to the old friends we got. Cheers to the new friends we made. Now we're off 'cause French brings back all the memories of everything we've been through. Cheers to the ones here today. Bye to the ones that we left on the way 'cause French brings back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember, school felt so new. When I met all my classmates, you were wonderful all through. Now the lectures I remember, even though I must depart. glass and say, here's to the old friends we got. Cheers to the new friends we made, now we're off, 'cause French brings back all the memories of everything we've been through. Cheers to the ones here today, bye to the ones that we left on the way, 'cause French brings back all the memories. And memories bring back you. Do 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 do. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you.